Welcome to the Thornton Review, the show designed with you in mind. If it's important to you, it's important to us. Renee Johnmeyer was born in Pensacola and raised in Santa Rosa County. She currently serves as Vice Chair of the Santa Rosa County Republican Liberty Caucus, Santa Rosa Republican Party precinct committeewoman, and as a poll watcher during elections. Renee believes in limited government, individual liberty, and constitutional accountability. She actively goes to Tallahassee and speaks to state legislature on issues such as parental rights and accountability for county government. She rallies citizens to speak up on issues such as opposing wastewater treatment near Blackwater River. Renee is currently running as a candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission District 2. Church and family are important to Renee. She enjoys spending time with her husband of 33 years, their 4 adult children, and 9 grandchildren. Hi, I'm Pueschel Schneier, Executive Producer and Manager of the Thornton Review. Thank you for tuning in. On today's show, we have Renee Johnmeyer. She is a candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission District 2. So Renee, it's great to have you on the show. It's nice to meet you. Will you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I am running for County Commissioner District 2. I am a wife of 33 years, mother of 4 children, and I have 9 grandsons that I'm very proud of. So no granddaughters yet, but I have a son that I'm looking for him to have some granddaughters.
Awesome. Yeah, 9 grandsons. You have your hands full, don't you?
Very much. It's very hot at my house on holidays.
It's fun, though.
It is. A lot of fun.
Well, thank you for that. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will begin our discussion with Renee Johnmeyer, candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission, District 2.
I'm Renee Johnmeyer, and I'm running for County Commissioner District 2. I'm a mother, a neighbor, and a voice for our community. I'm not a career politician. I lived on a tight budget, raised a family, and I understand what real life looks like here in Santa Rosa County. I'm running to strengthen public safety by supporting our first responders, improving roads and drainage, and protecting our waterways. I'll stand up for our veterans, small business, and the local jobs that keep our community strong. And I'll restore trust in the local government by putting the power back where it belongs, with you. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about me. This is about your voice. This is about our county, and this is about people, not politics. I'm one of you asking for your vote on August 18th so that I can fight for all of us.
There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right now. Be sure to like the video and hit the notification bell so you never miss a great guest. We provide this content as a public service, and it helps our channel when you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can watch us at our YouTube channel, The Thornton Review, at The Thornton Review 7810, our website, thethorntonreview.com. On Vimeo, please follow The Thornton Review. Please like our Facebook page, The Thornton Review Show, on TV, WBQP Channel 12, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. Hi, thank you for tuning in. We're going to begin our discussion with Renee Johnmeyer. She's a candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission District 2. So, Renee, what what was the spark? Like, what led you to want to run for county commission?
Well, like most people, they don't normally get involved until something knocks at their back door. So that for my husband and I, that was about 6 years ago. We own property in East Milton. We I saw some signs at the end of our road that read "New Homes Coming." We were zoned single family ag, so I was just curious. So I went to one of our commission meetings and saw my commissioner there, and I had asked him about the signs at the end of the road and where the homes were going to go, and he told me he wished he knew. So it turns out he was buying up the property. He was selling it to a builder and then helping him get the lots rezoned for him to be able to build in there. That kind of put a spark in us. We felt like that was a violation of a state statute, that he should not be in contract with anyone he had power over. We took it to the commission board. We lost. You know, they did initially rezone. They are building there, and as I do love my neighbors, I just felt like that was done in such a way that it shouldn't have been. So there was not a lot of accountability there. So I think that's what really sparked me as a citizen to get involved in local politics. After that, there was a show that a lot of the citizens would go on. It was just a small little talk show locally, and through that I met some other citizens, mostly grandmothers actually, and we formed a little committee where we started vetting candidates just on our own, just calling the candidates and say we'd like to vet you, and that rolled into a lot of other things. I think just getting involved. And as I got involved more and more, I realized how a lot of citizens were just pushed aside. That once we were getting these candidates elected, they were no longer listening to the citizens. So to be honest, I wanted my husband to run. That sounds crazy. So we talked about it. We discussed it. We prayed about it. For about 2 weeks, and we really just couldn't get peace about it. And I was actually very happy to, once we made a decision, I was just like, thank you, Lord. I do not want to, I've decided I do not want to go through this. So I think it was about 2 weeks later, I had a conversation with a sitting county commissioner. Again, that did not go well. And I just felt like, it was just something I needed to step up and do. For 6 years, I've been going back and forth to the county commission meetings. I've been standing side by side with other citizens, asking for things that were promised but never given. So it's just something I thought this year was kind of a put up or shut up for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what sparked the desire to want to go ahead and run. And I also had a problem with the choices that were available. So that is what really pushed me forward.
With the choices in the candidates.
Yes.
So it sounds like development was done in a way that you felt maybe was underhanded or shady. It shouldn't have been.
Well, I do think it was shady. The fact that the commissioner lied to me at the meeting made me feel like, well, why did you lie if it was
And it was during a meeting, so it's on public
well, it was
record.
after a meeting. I actually saw him in the up there at the county buildings. It was in the hall. We had a commission meeting, and it was after that I approached him and asked him about the homes coming, because he actually lives in our neighborhood. So that's one of he was a commissioner and he lived in our neighborhood. So I just thought maybe he would know where the homes would be going. So so that's, yes. So that was a whole ordeal, but it led up to me running. That was one of the things that led up to me running.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of rezoning and development going on across the entire state.
Yes,
that I've seen it
yes,
too.
it's not just a Santa Rosa County.
No, because I grew up in the cantonment and Beulah, and it's unrecognizable now.
I know.
it used to be zoned 1 house per 5 acres.
Yes.
And now they're putting tract home after tract home after tract home
Yes.
subdivisions. It's crazy.
It's starting to look a little like Orlando. My brother lived in just outside of Orlando, and there were homes that were just like right on top of each other. And and I understand some people, you know, desire that kind of living, and I understand that, but I think,
they're clear cutting and paving.
Yes.
And they're destroying natural habitats for the wildlife. We have natural wildlife.
Yes.
And where are they going? I'm seeing
My
all this
yard.
stuff on social media. Yeah, mine too. They're eating our cats and chickens.
Yes. So
Coyotes.
Yeah.
And Gulf Breeze has bears.
We have bears. We've had fox.
Yeah.
And the more they're clearing around us, the more, you know, we're seeing different things show up.
Yeah, because those animals, they live in a forest. And they have other things that they can eat. But once their home is demolished and clear cut, they're going to people's backyards.
Right.
So there has to be a better balance, in my opinion, between development and wildlife. We need responsible development. And right now it seems to be overdevelopment. Right. Very quickly.
One of the things I talk about is infrastructure and the lack of it, and how unsafe that is in a lot of ways. So the overdevelopment is just,
it's causing gridlock on the roads.
If you build a building, you can only put so many people in that building before it becomes unsafe. And I think that we need to look at our infrastructure the same way. You can only pack so many people into the area without proper infrastructure. You know, I guess that just kind of led me into infrastructure, but there's so many things that, you know, that I think about as far as our county and counties across Florida. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, so as a non-elected official, what is the most important thing you've done for the community?
Well, I think that networking is one of my strengths. I've met so many great people in Santa Rosa County, and through different organizations, you know, we've all come together, you know, as a voice. One of the things that we were able to accomplish is we politically speaking, is we turned 3 seats on the county commission board and 4 seats on the city council board in one election cycle. So I'm pretty proud of that. I did help when Save Blackwater. I don't know if you've ever heard of that organization, but the initiative for them was we had a wastewater treatment plant moving from the city limits in Milton out to East Milton, and they wanted to put it on a place called Cooper Basin, where there was a huge slope issue. There were several natural springs. So I joined with a lot of citizens to fight that, and so we were able to get that treatment plant moved.
Why would they think that would be a good spot?
I think because years ago, before we had we have an industrial park out there, we have a prison out there, we have our sheriff's department
right there on the river.
We have a lot of things out there that has rerouted water. So I think at one point they might have thought it was a good place. I would have never thought it was a good place, mainly because of the springs and the slope. But it was land that I guess the city had from either they were given the land, I believe, and so it was just the initial site for when they moved it from where it's at now. So I helped with that, and there's a lot of other things civically that we've done as a community. But I think one of the things that I do, and I wanted to say this, I do work in my church, I work with teens. Wednesday nights we have teen night, and so I go there and interact with the teenagers and help in that capacity. I also on Sundays work in the 1 to 5 year olds. So you know that's something I do, and I think that it's important to invest time in our children.
Sure, absolutely.
So they're going to be the future. So so that's one thing I think I bring to the community. That's a good thing.
Absolutely, yeah, it is. I used to be the education director at our church when my son was growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know all
as
that.
my kids were growing up, I did do that. I did nursery, and then I did the young kids, and then I did the older children, and then I did teenagers, and I kind of came away from it for a little while once my kids were grown. But back at it.
So I had to direct the vacation Bible school every year and the church, the Sunday school Christmas play.
Okay, yes.
And of course, rallies for the new school year. We'd have Sunday school rallies as they progressed and graduated up.
Yes.
Yep. So I know all about that. Those are fun days. Those are fun times that I miss.
Yes.
So what do you see as the biggest issue or the biggest problem right now in District 2?
Now, just in District 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Or because I know I represent the whole county, so there's
Right.
a lot of problems. There's the obvious problems: the infrastructure, the stormwater management, the lack of roads, lights. In my district specifically, is that we have, like I said, we have the industrial park that's on Highway 90, and we have the sheriff's department. We have Amazon that's in that industrial park, and several other building facilities where you have semi trucks coming and going.
Right.
Now on Highway 87, we have another large industrial park where we have Pepsi's in there, Hershey's is coming. So there's a lot of,
jobs.
Well, there's jobs, that is jobs, but the
Traffic.
infrastructure, yes, we sit right off of 10. And so where 87 intersects with 10, I had fought for a light to be there forever. And so when they brought the light in,
the traffic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it
And
was
they put
backed
one
up
light
for miles.
on one side. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
very, very
Going
short
north.
turning lane. Yes. And so it just, and we have Crestview, Pensacola, Navarre, all intersecting right there.
Yep.
So that is probably a big one for me. That and medical. We don't have any medical facilities out there.
Well, I mean, if an ambulance was stuck in that traffic, it wouldn't matter.
Right. Well,
or if you were stuck in that traffic trying to, drive your person to the hospital who was
Yes.
injured or sick, you'd be stuck in traffic.
that is one of when I was getting my petitions done, and I had to get 1,430 of those. So I did have a little help, but mostly I spent a lot of time at the county buildings in front of the license.
Yep. Getting people.
Department. Yes, the DMV. Thank you. Shaking hands and talking to people, and that was a huge concern of theirs. Was I had people tell me I had to call someone for my husband, and it took him forever to get to me, and so I heard a lot of that while I was collecting my petitions and just talking to the average citizen. I think sometimes our county commissioners get just totally disconnected and they get tunnel vision. So,
absolutely. So,
I'm not sure the question you asked me.
what's the biggest problem that you see in District 2?
True.
Well, I guess there are other issues also as well that you're passionate about.
Yes. One I think I mentioned was the disconnect between the citizens and the county commissioners. That's one of the things I'm running on, is being the voice of the people. I think people, it's sad to see how few people engage with coming down there and holding our commissioners, accountable. And what I hear over and over again is they don't listen to us. We take off work, we try to make the meetings, and then they don't listen to us. So that I do see as a big issue. So I'd like to correct that for sure.
It's like they have their own agendas, and the people have to be given time to speak. They have to be, because it's free speech and you have the right to speak at their meetings, and they already have their agenda going, so they put up a wall. Is that what you feel like?
I do feel that way. I think that citizens come up and speak, and they just, for the most part, just tune them out. So now I'm not saying all of them. I mean, we do have some that are good, and they try
and
to
not
do
for
their
every
best.
issue probably, but
Right.
yeah. So did you do a lot of door knocking?
I have not started my door knocking yet.
Okay.
Now, I have door knocked for many, many candidates, so I'm pretty much a pro.
So you know how to do it. Yeah.
Yes. So
you know what you're getting into.
Yes. So I will be doing a lot of door knocking.
So, what will be the very first thing you do when you're elected?
Oh goodness. Let's see. Well, Well, for one, I'll change the meeting time to evenings so that I can have more citizen involvement. I think that the citizens need to be engaged. I think sometimes people elect people and then they just let them go it alone. That's not, when I become county commissioner, that is not how I want to do it. I want the people to be engaged. I want them to be at the meetings, and I want them to share their concerns with what's going on in the county. It's a large county, and until I decided to run, I didn't realize, I mean, there are parts of the county, just with me asking questions, like, what do you see in your district, or what do you see in your district? I don't get to every single district, as just a citizen. So to hear from all the citizens, I think is going to be a big change.
So it is a very large county. It's all of Milton, Pace, Gulf Breeze. What about Jay and Chemukla? Are they? And they're included. Navarre. Wow.
Yes,
so it is huge.
It is huge.
And so, are they planning on redistricting anytime soon? I've heard that Escambia County might be redistricting.
Right, I've heard that too. I don't know. I haven't heard anything that alludes to Santa Rosa redistricting.
Yeah, because of the population growth, it just seems like they would be looking into it.
Yes.
I don't know all the statistical data that has to go into redistricting, but it just seems like as the population grows, there might even be more districts in the county.
Right.
So,
and I've had someone mention that to me, wondering why Santa Rosa only has 5 commissioners.
Yeah,
That's
so
not,
huge. Yeah. Well, it's because like Chemukla and Jay are so sparsely populated.
Right.
There's not a huge population up there, so you don't need more than one district for that entire area because it's based on population. Yeah, I'm sure it is. So yeah, with development, I mean, there could be overdevelopment, there could be responsible development, but with that comes gridlock on the streets. So you have to look at infrastructure, you have to look at the power grid, you have to look at the water, improved land, and impact fees.
Right.
You have to look at everything. And so what do you think about developers paying impact fees?
I think that they should. And the fact that we took them away for so long has really been a disservice to the taxpayers who are bearing the burden right now for the stormwater mismanagement. We've paid to buy back properties due to flooding, which brings me, Chris Kerb. I fully support what he's trying to do. He has been in Santa Rosa County for about 5 years now. He shows up pretty faithfully to just, drill home that the NOAA, I believe it's NOAA 14, no, that's 14, I believe is what we're at, but it's about to be updated this year. And I think Santa Rosa is still going off 1979 rainfall data. And that has really put the taxpayers on the hook for places that have flooded, that weren't flooding before. So, yeah, that's a big concern.
Well, I think what's causing the flooding is all the overdevelopment because there's less pervious land. Everything's impervious because when you clear cut a forest and you pave over it with tract homes or homes, I mean, they could be nice homes, not just tract homes. I'm saying tract homes, schools, strip malls, roads, sidewalks, everything that gets paved,
redirects the water.
That water has to go somewhere, so it's going to go, it flows south and it's going to flood.
During Sally, that brings me to this point when the homes where they clear cut for the new homes in my neighborhood during Sally, I did go to the BOCC and show them what I don't even know where the water was coming from. It was just rushing. It had covered the road. It had covered the area that was trees at the time. I've thought about, once the house is occupied, showing that video to the neighbor and said, you might want to carry flood insurance. I mean, I'm not saying that this will happen, but this is what was here before your home was here.
And it wasn't like that before the home.
Right. Well, Sally was a big event. I mean,
it was
a large rain event.
It was.
But when you're sitting somewhere that's not zone flooding, you tend to not get the flood insurance.
Right.
So just to see, I was really shocked just to see the water over the road and the way it was rushing. I was wondering, where is all this water coming from? And since then, Carl Booker, they've actually cleared because the property goes up. So they've cleared that and put houses up on Carl Brooker. So I know if that happens again, it's, it's going to be even worse.
So, with clear cutting and paving, also there's hurricanes, and hurricanes are stopped by forests. When hurricanes hit land, they hit the forest, and that's what slows them down and stalls them out. But when it's clear cut, hurricanes go all the way up to North Carolina. We've seen that's the first time that has ever happened. I mean, you can go back and look at the history of hurricanes. Chris would probably know more than I do, but I've never heard of a hurricane going up. Like when I was growing up, they wouldn't even go up into Alabama. They would hit Florida and stall out and stop. Well, they'd hit the coast of Alabama, but not up into Alabama and Georgia. And
well, even the beaches, I can remember as a child, going to the beaches and my parents talking about, when we started seeing development on the beaches, and they'd like, pretty soon we're gonna have nowhere to go, and so used to, I can remember the huge dunes, like you couldn't even see the water.
Hurricane Ivan.
Before the walk, you could see the walkovers where you had the walkovers. You see the water. As a little child, I can remember watching. But yeah, a lot of our buffers have just been either gone under due to a hurricane, or we've just developed in a way that we don't have those buffers anymore.
Well, Hurricane Ivan leveled the dunes because the dunes were mountains. We used to climb them when I was a teenager. We'd go out there and climb them and run down them and just have fun. And my son was born in 2004, 2 months before Hurricane Ivan, and I was so looking forward to taking him out there when he got older and showing him the dunes. But they were completely leveled.
Yes,
no such thing
during Ivan. My husband and I, we were in New Hampshire at the time, but my family was here. My brothers, both of them are officers, so they had to deal with the aftermath of what Ivan left. But my mom, I can remember saying it was like a bomb went off.
Yeah.
So it was devastating.
Yeah, we evacuated, but my family stayed.
So if we ever have another Ivan, now that things have been clear and developed, I mean, you see the damage that Ivan caused. So now.
Yeah. What was the name of that hurricane that went up to North Carolina? Do you remember? Regardless, we're going to see more of that. And, but yeah, hurricanes, some of them aren't as destructive, but I evacuate if they're over 3, category 3, and it's a straight hit. I will leave.
Yes.
But 3 or less, I'll stay.
Yeah, that's because my mother went through that, and she's older. She actually lives with my husband and I. So I know she gets very nervous, so I would have to leave with her, probably a 3 or higher.
Well, so that's another thing we have to take into consideration is evacuation routes, because with a larger population comes gridlock on the roads on a regular day. Think about when everybody's trying to leave at the same time.
Right.
And we don't have the infrastructure. I mean, you're just going to have traffic jams. And what if there's a car accident? And what if a car stalls out in the middle of the road? There's all these.
It did happen during Ivan. My mom said she was in. She had my grandmother at the time, and she was evacuating, and she said it was practically gridlock.
I-65. Yep, an 18-wheeler jackknifed. I was in it.
See, and now we have way more. Now we have way more people. We haven't had a hurricane like Ivan, since then. So
so we need a professional to come in and tell us how this population is going to evacuate for a hurricane or for any type of emergency that we have to evacuate for. How are we going to do it? If we have to do it quickly, if we have to do it within a certain amount of time,
I think now they tell you, leave 3 to 5 days, but that is a long time to be away from your home. It's expensive.
And
You're
from
leaving.
work.
Yes, and from work. And you have
and to pay for a hotel.
Right, for that long. And then once the hurricane comes in, then you got to try and get back, Yeah, so it's...
I can understand them saying leave 3 to 5 days ahead of time, because then you don't have everybody on the street at once.
Right. But not everybody can do that.
Right. No, of course not. Yeah. I mean, most people can't. Most people aren't going to do that.
Right.
Because a lot of people wait till the last minute to see. I mean, 3 or 5 days, the hurricane could stall out by then. It could go in a completely different direction.
Right. And then you've spent money to leave, to get a hotel, to do all those things, and and then
that wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
So yeah, we need a better solution for that.
I agree.
And so So in your district,
Mhm.
what types of, do you have programs or incentives for like first responders? Do you back first responders? Do you have family who are first responders?
Well, I did. My brothers were both. I had one that he's a retired state trooper, and I have one that's retired from Escambia County.
Mhm.
So they are no longer. But um, that is, I haven't had an opportunity. I've set up some meetings. I do want to talk to the first responders in my district to find out what they need and how they feel about whether or not they're ready for something like this. You know, they do have a huge load on them just with the industrial parks there. You know, if something happened in one of those industrial parks, we don't have, you know,
You have enough first
say it happens
responders.
during rush hour and we can't get someone there, and then they're kind of on their own to, you know. So I just want to get with them and understand, you know, what they need, if they feel like they have what they need, and that they could effectively take care of what needs to be taken care of this side of the river. So.
Well, I want to find out what your goals are,
Mhm.
but we're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, I'm going to pick your brain and find out what your goals are. So, the Thornton Review is a civic engagement show with a purpose to spread awareness by interviewing local elected officials, candidates, and professional leaders. This is information you won't get anywhere else. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Renee Johnmeyer, candidate for County Commission, Santa Rosa County, District 2.
I'm Renee Johnmeyer, and I'm running for County Commissioner District 2. I'm a mother, a neighbor, and a voice for our community. I'm not a career politician. I lived on a tight budget, raised a family, and I understand what real life looks like here in Santa Rosa County. I'm running to strengthen public safety by supporting our first responders, improving roads and drainage, and protecting our waterways. I'll stand up for our veterans, small business, and the local jobs that keep our community strong. And I'll restore trust in the local government by putting the power back where it belongs, with you. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about me. This is about your voice. This is about our county, and this is about people, not politics. I'm one of you asking for your vote on August 18th so that I can fight for all of us.
For military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right now. Be sure to like the video and hit the notification bell so you never miss a great guest. We provide this content as a public service, and it helps our channel when you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can watch us at our YouTube channel, The Thornton Review, at The Thornton Review 7810, our website, thethorntonreview.com. On Vimeo, please follow The Thornton Review. Please like our Facebook page, The Thornton Review Show, on TV, WBQP Channel 12, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to continue our discussion with Renee Johnmeyer. So Renee, I understand that you rally troops and for different issues. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about any of those issues that you've rallied the troops for? I know you mentioned the Blackwater River, and you've been to Tallahassee a couple times. Let's break this down and find out exactly what you are all about.
Okay, you mentioned Tallahassee. That sparked something. One of the things I think that as a commissioner we need to do is that we need to watch legislation, because Tallahassee will pass something that will affect your constituents, and you don't know. If you're not watching, you don't know until it's passed. So I think that as county commissioners, we should be putting that information out there to your citizens that, hey, this bill is going through Tallahassee. It's up for review. You need to write your senators, your representatives. This is something that's going to affect our county in the long run. So I think citizens need to be aware of that. I don't think that people live busy lives. We're all working and raising children, and so they need a watchman, I guess, if you will.
They
so
do.
just keep an eye on that and let them know when they need to be aware of something that's going through Tallahassee that will affect our county.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that you can rally the troops and go and speak to the state legislature.
Right. Right.
Legislature.
Yes. So citizen involvement, I think, is important. And like I said earlier, I think
we the people, right?
Yes, yes. So that, and that's true. If you don't get engaged with what's going on, there are people who'll do what they want.
Right.
And you won't have a say.
It might not be good for your family or for the environment or for the community in general.
Yes.
It might just be good for their pockets.
Right.
And and I think we've seen that happen. There are a lot of good things going on. What is something great that's going on in Santa Rosa County right now?
Oh goodness.
What about the schools? Do you know about the school board?
I haven't been as involved with the school board. I do know the candidates. I do know that one thing that I think is good, and some people disagree. I do think it is good that the money follows the child. Coming from someone who I did a little bit of all of it. My children attended public school. I did some homeschooling. I did an umbrella school, so they got some different learning experiences. I didn't get any funding. I had to purchase the curriculum myself. The one thing they did get to do is they did get to participate in like extra things. My daughter cheered for Milton High School, so she was able to, do things like that while still being homeschooled. But I think that giving parents an option I think it's great. Now we're seeing a shift in funding, which some people mentioned that if that bill came to fruition, that it would take money from the public schools, and it has. But I think that we need to get creative. We need to figure out why people are taking their children from public school. And so, but I think that's good that parents have a choice. So, and I think it sparks competition. Our public schools need to look at maybe some other models, how other schools work, and why parents are choosing to put their kids here instead of here. Right. So,
well, I've been thinking about that too. A lot lately.
Okay.
And here in Escambia County, like, why are parents choosing to take their kids out of school? And I think it's because there's a lot of social issues going on in school other than reading, writing, and arithmetic. History and science. There's just a lot of social things going on and being taught, and I think parents want a traditional school, and since so many parents want to put their kids in private school, most private schools either have a uniform or a very strict dress code, and I think it would help if the public schools went to a uniform or a very strict dress code, just like the private schools. And at least a very strict, dress code, because there should be some individuality.
Right.
But it needs reform.
Individuality. I mean, I understand that clothes are an expression of a person, but you're still that person. The clothes doesn't really make the person. I think that it would take away from some issues that aren't good.
Yeah, I do too.
The same. It is a hard. I think it's difficult. I'm glad. I know how my years were as far as being a teenager and the pressures. I think the pressure now is way more than it was. It was great, I think, when I was in high school, but I think it's even worse now due to like social media and just different avenues that kids have available for different things. So if you take away if everybody is the same and dresses the same and there is a strict code, I think that would be beneficial. I'm sure there are people who would fight against that.
I'm sure, yeah.
But Yeah, the school system, there's a lot there to unpack.
I think so too. My son's middle school, I went up there to check him out one day, and there was a mother in the lobby of the school, and she was talking to the principal, and apparently her daughter wore some jeans that were not by the dress code. They had holes in them, and one of the rules is to not wear jeans with holes in them. And the mother was saying, well, she's been wearing them all year. Why now? Why are you just now calling me on them? And the mother was, fighting back. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking, okay, it starts at home. For one thing, the mom is letting this girl wear holes. I mean, she's a very edgy looking girl, and the mother's allowing this girl to, wear something that is just totally not in the norm. But then the school is allowing it to happen like all year, and then towards the end of the year they're finally calling the mom and saying she can't wear these to school. It just
Well, I can see where that could be frustrating as a parent.
yeah.
But going back to the uniforms, having a standard, I think brings a sense of pride. I think a lot of times, that school pride is, lost on social issues. I think the social issues cause division, and cause things that are really unnecessary and can be avoided.
So back to the Blackwater treatment plant. Did they put it there? They actually put it there, or was that stopped?
It was stopped.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So they realized that wasn't a great idea.
They did, and it was because of the citizens who got involved, and I will. Pam Mitchell was the spearhead of that. That's a kind of a shout out to her. So yeah, it's just citizen involvement and making people aware of what was about to happen, which kind of goes back to legislation. You just got to make people aware of what's going to happen if they don't stop certain things. And so they moved it, and it was tricky because there were a lot of grants involved,
Right.
So they're getting that all worked out. So
Did they build a new wastewater plant?
They haven't yet. They're in the process.
Okay. Wow.
So, working through the grant process.
Did they have a location?
They do have a location. It's better. It's not the best, personally, but it's better.
So I used to be on the Citizens Advisory Committee at ECUA, Emerald Coast Utilities Authority, and I went on several tours of the Central Water Reclamation Facility, and so I know a little bit of what's involved because it is huge. And so a lot goes into building something like that, especially from scratch. I mean, it takes millions of dollars, probably close to billions, because it has to be state of the art. It has to be the newest technology, and it's a lot more than just water. It's a lot more than just turning on your faucet at home and not thinking about where the water goes, because if they move a wastewater treatment plant, that means that they have to repipe everything underneath the ground. It has to be repiped. And of course the old pipes have to either be lined with the coating that they line them with when they get old and they crack, or replaced. And it's a lot that goes on, and
kind of in that process.
there's a lot of engineering involved, and a lot of manpower, a lot of equipment, a lot of money. And I'm sure it's taxpayer. It's not taxpayer. It's ratepayer funded, right? In Santa Rosa.
So yeah. So but I'm glad that they moved it, and it's going to. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. This kind of brings you to the aquifers that we have.
Sure.
There is a well-filled protection area in my district, and they keep kind of encroaching with the building because a lot of the new developments are on septic, and like if they talk about urban sprawl, when people move out, and some people move out and they end up on septic, and because they're so spread out, it's not an issue. But when you start putting like so many people together in that area,
that's why Cantonment and Beulah was zoned 1 house per 5 acres, because everybody was on septic and they didn't want more septic tanks than 1 per 5 acres. But now I don't know how many houses they're cramming on 1 acre. They're clear cutting and
Yes.
putting in as many houses as they possibly can. I would like to see legislation that says you can't clear cut. Like you can cut, I mean, obviously you have to cut down some trees if you're going to build roads and
In
houses.
Santa Rosa, they're not supposed to be clear cutting, but it's not. They're not enforcing. And that becomes an issue when you don't enforce. The land development code. Then what's the use in having it if you're not going to enforce it?
So. I know there's no point at all.
Right.
So yeah, the land development code needs to be enforced.
Right.
We need responsible population growth. We need to look at how many people are moving in, how many new houses are being built.
Right. I think we have about 6 years worth of homes that have already been approved in our area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd take about 6 years to.
Is there going to be any square inch of land left?
Oh, I hope so.
I mean, unless somebody buys it up and just makes it a nature preserve.
Right. And there have been people who have come together, kind of like a pack, and pulled their money and bought. I think that happened actually in Beulah when they were, because they're building a lot out there with the Navy Federal and all that. A lot of stuff.
And OLF8.
There's a group of people that got together and purchased property to preserve it.
Like some forest land or, do you know about OLF8? It used to be an airfield and it's like 50, I don't know how many, 500 acres. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. It's a large, just vacant, clear-cut field that's been there for a very long time that Escambia County owns. And there's a master plan to develop it. And I think the master plan keeps changing because they have to sell it to the right developer for the right amount of money, and it has to be something that is approved by, whatever the developer wants to do has to be approved. I would plant trees there. I would make a pine forest right there because that's what used to be there. Right. Florida used to be a pine forest. It used to be a heart pine forest. Right. Giant pine trees. They're all gone. I know. This house is made out of.
Drive like to Alabama. Of 87 North, you see, and even that they're clearing a lot in that direction too. A lot of the pines. But I remember all the huge pine trees.
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous about the devastation to the environment and the ecosystems and the natural habitats for wildlife. Yeah, and it's more than just bears and coyotes and raccoons and possums. That we have more than that. I mean, there's countless species of insects, spiders, lizards. Everything.
Yeah, we'll start to see more snakes, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yep, snakes, rabbits.
I know. I don't remember where I was going the other day, but that song, "Paved Paradise," up a parking lot. I mean, that's an old song, but it feels more real now than ever. So
I know it does. Think of what it's going to be in 10 years.
Much. A lot of people come at me telling me, as a Republican, I've been a Republican my whole life. From the time I could vote, and I've been conservative, and they come at me, telling me, she changed her party, all these things. I'm like, so where did it change that if you want to protect the land and you want clean water and,
aren't you a conservative?
Right.
You want to conserve it?
Right. And we're supposed to be good stewards of what we have. And I feel like the dollar signs are more important to people than being good stewards of what we have. So.
I'm all for capitalism. Right. I love capitalism. I do not want to have to make my own clothes. Right. I don't want to have to grow my own food. Right. I don't want to have to, have a horse and wagon because because nobody's building cars.
I agree.
I love capitalism. I want to buy furniture. I don't want to have to make it. Right. I want electricity. I want running water. Capitalism's great, but there's responsible development, there's responsible population growth, and there's also responsible population cap, where look, we have to conserve some of our natural
the building I was talking about too. And sustainability.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we get oxygen from trees. We're clear cutting them, and animals need a place to live. I mean, people are just like, well, if there's too many bears coming in the yard, we'll just hunt them, and that's kind of.
If you live with the bears manual, if you call Santa Rosa, there's a live with how you live with the bears. Yeah. So we have locks.
Just don't feed them. Right. I know. Well, I manage properties in Santa Rosa County, and every once in a while, somebody doesn't put a lock on the garbage can, or the bear figures out how to get the bungee cord off of it.
Yes.
And there's garbage strewn all over the yard, and I have to tell the guests, well, because they have no idea how that happened. And I have to say, well, a bear did it. And they're like, a bear?
Yes.
Yeah, that's scary. A bear.
Yes, I've had paw prints on my door handle to my car before.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I think bears stay away from people. I've never heard of anybody being attacked. And luckily, nobody's trying to pet them or feed them, because who knows? Who knows? You just don't do it. Just stay away.
Well,
Because the bears will stay away from you.
I did take some pictures. I came out one morning and there were a couple of cubs in the median.
Oh, don't you want to pick them up?
Well, they weren't. They had been hit. They weren't alive. So there were 2 cubs. So I did get out and I took pictures, because I have someone, I sent them to, and it was sad for me. But yeah, when I got out, I was thinking, okay, I'm taking pictures of cubs. Where's Mama? So it probably wasn't a smart thing to do, to get out of my car. But yeah, that's what's happening. So they're just getting driven out into our world.
Yeah,
and approaching on theirs.
Right, into our backyards. And then people are like, there's a bear, there's a coyote in my backyard, or possums and raccoons are coming up and eating the cat food on the back porch. And people don't understand, but it's not, it's obvious why, because they don't have a home anymore. They have to have a place to go. And I see it. A lot of people see it, but then other people are just so into making money. It's capitalism. You're a Republican, aren't you? You're for development. You're for, just because you're a Republican. Well, no, I'm a conservative. I want to conserve our natural habitat. And I want responsible population growth. I don't want gridlock on the roads. I don't want flooding. And I want to conserve a natural habitat. Also, like the historical integrity of what made downtown Pensacola, downtown Milton, such a beautiful place. There are historical buildings there that I would like to conserve instead of tear down. So,
that kind of brings us to the topic of the 4-lane. There are, the Imogene is historical. Was a hotel that's historical, but there's a way to 4-lane without moving the Fisher building. That was a big deal. The Fisher building isn't necessarily historical. It is old and it is a beautiful building. They had talked about moving it. So
like over a little bit?
Yes, they talked about just moving it. Picking it up, actually. They said, we'll do it brick by brick if we have to. But
is it on a slab?
They have been willing to move it, but there were a lot of citizens who didn't. That was before we had all these neighborhoods and all this development happen. It was before that they were fighting that. So now I just think it's inevitable. I think it's going to have to happen. But I think we should keep it as walkable as possible and save as much as possible.
Right.
So I do agree with that.
So would they 4-lane Highway 90 from like the Escambia County? So Highway 90 goes through Pace.
Right.
And there's a series of bridges.
Yes. And it's all 4-lane now, right until you get into Milton. And then it's all 2-lane, and it winds through Milton, and then it comes over the bridge there into East Milton. So you have to go over the water into East Milton. And then when you get up 90 to 87, it goes back to 4-lane. So that's what I mean. It just bottlenecks right there. So anyway.
Because it's going through the old historic Milton. That's why, and people want to keep it old historic Milton, 1 lane, single lane.
Yes.
I can understand that.
Right.
But also with the population growth and the bottlenecking that happens now anyway, and the gridlock on the street, it is inevitable that at some point it's going to have to be doubled. There was a point where it was a dirt road at one point. And maybe some people were like, no, we don't want to pave it, and so now it's paved. So there's always an evolution to every city and every town. And you can't keep it the exact same way it was in the very beginning, because there was nothing there. No people.
So you just do your best to have the responsible growth that we're talking about.
Absolutely. And so how do we get so I just looked at the clock and boy, an hour flies faster than you
Did it
could
go
ever
by?
imagine.
I thought, what are we going to talk about for an
Yeah.
hour? But
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Mm.
So it was really nice having you on the show. Do you have any closing statements? Other than vote for me, candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission District 2.
Yes. Well, closing statements. When I'm elected, this is just a plea to the citizens. Just please get involved, get engaged. You're part of your government. So, yeah.
I couldn't agree with that more.
Yes.
So it was really nice having you on the show, and it was really nice meeting you. And I'm pretty sure I've seen you at Santa Rosa County Republican meeting.
Yes.
At the executive.
Yes. I am. Yes. I am a member of the REC. I'm also the vice chair of the RLC. So.
And I'm sure you know Sharon Reagan.
Yes.
She's really awesome.
Yes.
She's an event coordinator.
Yes,
She's
I love her.
good.
She really brought a great dynamic to the REC that wasn't there before.
Absolutely.
So whenever she moves on, we're gonna miss her.
Yeah,
For
she's
sure.
an incredible chairwoman for
Yes.
sure, by far. So, well, it was nice having you on. I enjoyed talking about the issues with you, and you just introducing yourself and explaining your side of the story.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. So the Thornton Review is on the air to provide public service awareness and intellectual infrastructure to our community. And this show is made possible by Larry Downs Jr. Plumbing. Our guest, Renee Johnmeyer, candidate for Santa Rosa County Commission, District 2. And Gary Sapp Automotive. Gary Sapp Automotive offers diagnostics, maintenance, and repairs for cars, trucks, and RVs. With over 20 years experience, their technicians are ASE certified and specializing in honesty and integrity and customer service. So Gary Sapp Automotive, located at 6808 Pine Forest Road in Pensacola, and on the web at garysapp.net. And we want to thank you for watching this episode of the Thornton Review. Bye-bye.